Hi everyone, it's Anthony. It's really good to see you. I just wanted to get a hold of you real quick before you watch this video. Whether you're watching the King Kong or the Godzilla video, they were intended to be premiered on March 30th and March 31st of 2021. But if you live in the Noonan area, you have an idea of why they've been postponed to the beginning of April. There was a tornado that came through the city of Noonan that has kind of been quite devastating, and the library was closed for several days because of it. We are fine. I hope that you are as well. But if you are in any type of need, you need to get donations, just go to the city fairgrounds. They should be able to help you there. If you have no way to get donations from the fairgrounds and you still need them, please call 678-340-0790, and hopefully you should get a hold of someone who can help you. If you have donations, please take them to the fairgrounds. They will be open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. to accept donations. We are in need of flashlights, AAA batteries, work gloves, paper towels, Lysol wipes, electrolyte type drinks like Gatorade, packing tape, baby wipes, styrofoam coolers, and trash bags. They already have a lot of water, and we appreciate the donations of water, but we do not need them at this time. Thank you very much. If you're interested in volunteering, please call 910-632-3309 for more information. The staff people at there should be able to help you out. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the video. Hi everyone, it's Anthony. Welcome back to another Noonan Carnegie Movie Night Review. You know, on March 31st, a brand new movie is coming out, Godzilla vs. Kong, and I am very excited about it, so I thought I would do something kind of special. Today, I am going to review the 2005 movie King Kong, and tomorrow I am going to review the 1998 Godzilla movie. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. Comment down below who you think is your favorite movie monster. It doesn't have to be these two, but tell me who your favorite movie monster is. And don't forget to tell us how excited you are about the brand new Godzilla vs. Kong movie. The 2005 King Kong movie was directed by Peter Jackson and was produced by Wingnut Films. Now, the original 1993 King Kong movie was a favorite of director Peter Jackson's, and he had always hoped to make his own spin on it. And right off of the success of his Lord of the Rings trilogy, Peter Jackson was given free rein to basically make whatever he wanted, and he decided to make an epic, though incredibly faithful, adaptation of the 1993 movie King Kong. While not quite making as much money as the studio thought this movie would, it did have a lot of critical and commercial success. It even nabbed 3 Oscar wins, including Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Visual Effects. And after having watched this movie, it probably deserved it. The movie also spawned a video game which saw some wide success. The film is star-studded with the performances of actors and actresses like Naomi Watts, Jack Black, Adrien Brody, and many others, but also, most notably, Andy Serkis, who plays the titular gorilla. We follow, most significantly, the character Ann Darrow, a down-on-her-luck vaudevillian actress during the 1930s in New York City. When the theater she works at is closed down, desperate, she's forced to steal just to eat. When she gets caught and is about to get in trouble, she is saved by a pretentious filmmaker, Carl Denham, played by Jack Black, who offers her a role in his new upcoming movie. His project? Get a film crew together, which includes famous playwright Jack Driscoll, played by Adrien Brody, and sail off to a rumored uncharted island that lies somewhere in the Pacific Ocean to film a new adventure movie. Anne agrees, and they sail off to Skull Island. Once there, they are met by hostile natives who kidnap and offer Anne as a sacrifice to the monster on their island, the 25-foot-tall gorilla, King Kong. Kong takes a liking to Anne, so the rest of the crew has to traverse Skull Island to save her and deal with her giant kidnapper. Now, let's get something straight about this movie. First and foremost, it is long. I mean really long. It's 3 hours and 7 minutes long, and that's compared to the original 1933 movie, which only runs at 2 hours and 5 minutes long. which is bonkers, but it's so weird that Peter Jackson was able to take a 2-hour and 5-minute long film and stretch it an extra hour while still being incredibly faithful. Peter Jackson does this by fleshing out a lot of characters and storylines that didn't really go anywhere in the 1933 movie, or he added some story elements to certain characters that didn't get a lot of love in the original 1933 version. Now, there is nothing wrong with a 3-hour movie. My favorite movie is Ben-Hur, which runs at 3 hours and 44 minutes. But this 3-hour flick, I'm not sure it was entirely worth the extra time length. But I'll get to that in a minute. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or in this case, the giant gorilla in the room. I, a white man, am not the best person to have a discussion on racial tropes in film. But I am able to recognize them and know that they are fundamentally a problem in the King Kong mythos that requires change. As I've said twice already, this movie is a faithful adaptation to the 1933 film of the same name, for better or for worse. One of the main criticisms of the original film by modern audiences is the depiction of the natives of Skull Island, and it only gets worse in this 2005 adaptation. The natives, Indonesians who are set on a fictional island west of Sumatra, are depicted as barbaric, bloodthirsty savages with no identity or culture other than death and a fear of Kong. The lack of a native identity, or in this case specifically an Indonesian identity, and a sole focus on savagery, shows a basic ignorance of cultures besides a white American one, and is racist to its core. It's also fair to recognize that there are several metaphorical racist connections between the King Kong story and the experiences of African Americans. Please be aware that whether it was intentionally malicious by the filmmakers in the studio who made the movie or not, racist tropes that other non-white cultures exist in this movie that only came out 16 years ago. And we need to be aware of it and recognize that this type of racism still exists in our culture today and is morally reprehensible. Beyond that, one of the things that this movie really suffers from is self-indulgence. If you ever saw the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you understand that Peter Jackson really likes to flesh out his characters, and all of the characters in the Lord of the Rings are fleshed out fairly well. And it's the same way with the 2005 King Kong movie. For better or for worse. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of these story threads that Jackson tried putting in here don't really go anywhere, and it's kind of a detriment to the movie. If Peter Jackson were to just leave some of the storylines on the cutting room floor, this movie would have had a much more palatable runtime. While there are several issues in this movie that needed to be addressed in pre-production, there are several areas where this movie succeeds in bounds. The visual aspects of this movie are incredibly stunning, and I mean that in both a good and a bad way. Just looking at Kong and the other creatures is a sight to behold. They and New York City are gorgeous, and the entire visual presentation and the visual production team deserve the Oscar that they won. However, they deserve to be whomped over the head with the Oscar that they won for some of the things that they made me look at. If you do not like bugs, please avoid this movie at all costs. My nightmares will forever be haunted by slugs. Thank you, movie. Still gorgeous, though. The actors' performances were also really well done. I give high regards to Naomi Watts and the movie's writing team for what they did with the character of Anne Darrow. In the original 1933 movie, Anne was nothing more than a damsel in distress. But Naomi Watts was able to give the character of Anne Darrow the agency that she so desperately needed in the original movie. Jack Black also did a great job, but we'll get to him in a minute. Adrian Brody did a fine enough job, and Andy Serkis, the king of motion capture, always does an amazing job in everything he ever does. He perfectly performs both the characters of Lumpy and King Kong. Just watch the 8 movements that he does. He only gets better in the Planet of the Apes trilogy, but he really knocks it out of the park here. The one thing I think this movie does spectacularly well is its theming. And while yes, it does have some of those problematic themes that we've already discussed, the main focus of this movie and the main theme is man's hubris.
Oh, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast.
And now that's where Jack Black comes in. His character, Carl Denham, is so cartoonishly selfish when it comes to enriching himself that he never stops to think, hey, maybe I'm the bad guy here and not, the giant ape that we're harassing. He never puts down his camera on Skull Island, even when it hinders any kind of self-preservation instinct he might have. And in the third act of the movie, he's only focused on how crazy Kong is acting, instead of taking any blame for what he's done.
Hans, are we the baddies?
While that level of cartoonish behavior may not seem in line with this type of story, it feels very well put together when you think about his entire character. The setting of the Great Depression and the element of the Empire State Building, which are all great indicators that this movie is trying to push the theme that man's hubris will get the better of us. Well done, Peter Jackson and Jack Black. The cinematography in this movie, like I said, with the visual effects was very well done, and the sound effects were perfectly executed, hence the awards. The 2005 King Kong movie is available here on Blu-ray at the Noonan Carnegie Library if you're interested in watching it. If you are interested in watching this movie, and especially if you intend to watch it with children around, I highly suggest and recommend that you have a conversation with them about the problematic elements within this movie, to help better educate them about the people in this world that they share this planet with. If you have any movies that you think I should review here at the Noonan Carnegie Library, don't forget to comment down below, tell me in person, or shout at me from across the street. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to get more videos like this from the Noonan Carnegie Library. I can't wait to see you all. I miss you so very much. Please be safe out there in the world. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. You're next.